Yes, do I think I do this one now? Yes, but keep going forward. When I believe you Everyone, please say it 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good evening to everyone. Dear Dhamma friends, before we start, I would like to do the same wish that I do every day. During this session too, may all of you be able to at least develop little bit of inner peace and little bit of inner happiness as you can, right? Please give you everything and work hard for your own betterment, right? So, dear Dhamma friends, this week is a very special week for all the people who practice the Buddha's teachings and these wonderful mindfulness meditations and vipassana meditations. Why is that? Is there anyone who knows? It's Buddha's birthday tomorrow. Very nice, Mrs. Jean. So it's because of the Buddha's birthday. And at the same time, traditionally it is believed in South Asia that Buddha became enlightened and passed away also in the month of May, Vesak month. So in Asian calendar, we call this month the Vesak month. Or in Sanskrit, we call it Vaishakh month. So the Buddha said that there are 5 things which are very rare to happen. So these 5 things, they are rare things that can happen. Number 1, the arising of a Buddha. It is a rare thing to happen. Then after that, Buddha says, human life. That is also a rare thing to happen. Right? And then number 3, so the gaining the ability to practice good actions. That is also a rare thing to happen. So this period you have taken it as granted, but there'll be a time. So there'll be a time that so wrong actions would be praised and good actions would be ridiculed. Right? There'll be times like that. So such kind of times in human realms are the majority. So major period. So they take the major portion of the lifespan in human realms, right? So being able to be born during a time where people praise good actions, so that's also a rare thing. And then number 4, fourth kind of rare thing is the ordination, becoming a monk or a nun. That is also a rare thing. So there are so many people in the world, but all don't want to become monks or nuns, right? So that's also a rare thing. And then final rare thing is so listening to the Dhamma. So that is also a rare thing. So being able to listen to the Dhamma, it's also a rare thing. People can listen hours and hours to music, and they can watch throughout for about 3 hours. They can watch movies, but 1 hour sitting for 1 hour meditation or listening to Dhamma, it's impossible for the people, right? Why? So throughout this life and in the samsaric lives too, we have practiced the opposite side. What is the opposite side? So the pleasurizing the senses. That is the thing that we have done for many lives, right? So in this life too, it is the same up to now, right? That's why it's hard for us, right? That's why it's hard for us to practice Dhamma and listen to the Dhamma. So this is the fifth factor, which is rare in the world. Among all of them, the rising of a Buddha. Buddha is Buddha is a wonderful being that we cannot fathom, even though we think about the Buddha. Once the Buddha told that even though another Buddha praises one Buddha, so the lifespan of this earth will finish, but the qualities of a Buddha won't finish. Why? For throughout many lives, the Buddha has tried hard to practice this noble Dhamma and to attain the enlightenment. Right? So throughout that journey, those Buddhas, they have developed various kinds of deeper qualities within. That is the case. Right? So that's why the Buddha said so. There are mainly 3 qualities in a Buddha. So number 1 is Sila, morality. Buddha is the one who developed morality to the utmost level. Right? So morality means the noble practices. So physically and verbally. So, for an example, not killing is a moral practice. Not stealing is a moral practice. Not practicing sexual misconduct is a moral practice. Not practicing celibacy for ordained people. And then not lying is a moral practice. And not taking intoxicants, that's also a moral practice. Like that, there are moral practices. So when it comes to when it comes to a monk or a nun, so it goes deeper, right? So somehow they have practiced, the Buddhists, they have practiced, so these moral qualities to the utmost level, utmost level. That's why Buddha is is suitable to venerate, right? Suitable to be followed. The second quality of a Buddha is samadhi, concentration. So there are mainly 8 kinds of concentrations. When you practice concentration, you can reach up to 8 kinds of concentration. But a Buddha surpassed that level and reach 2 extra concentration levels too. Right? So therefore, Buddha is an amazing human being, right? Amazing human being, which is suitable to get veneration and respect. And third quality of a Buddhist, main quality of Buddhist, the wisdom, right? The Buddha didn't understand didn't understand the world as it is just by looking outside. So the Buddha understood everything all by within. So once the Buddha told all the Bhantes, so if you really want to see the Buddha, you have to see inside, right? So by outside, you can't see the Buddha. So Buddha realized the nature of things as they actually are by investigating inside. So whatever things that he told as the wise things that he's taught, so those things are the truths that he understood within. Right? All those understandings came from within. Right? Let it be the 3 characteristics of life, 8 noble paths, 4 noble truths, so there are so many other things. So 27 factors of enlightenment, so all those things. And there are so many other things that if I go with the list, then today, so the day will end, but I won't be able to describe all those things, right? So all those things Buddha understood by his own experience, right? By his own experience, which came without colored glasses, with an open mind. When he was investigating the world, he saw those things as the truths, right? Then, after attaining the enlightenment, for the benefit of all the beings, out of compassion towards all the beings, he taught it for the benefit of us. Then Buddha said, Tummihi kichang atappang akkhataro tathagata. Those days language, Pali. You are the ones who have to strive hard and understand these things within. The Buddhas and all the teachers, they are only the people that guide you and help you. You are the ones who have to practice and attain those stages. And you are the ones who have to practice and realize these things with your own wisdom, right? So the Buddha, that means Gautam Buddha, Gautam Buddha he was born in Lumbini, Nepal. Nowadays, those days, that land was considered as Bharat, but now it belongs to Nepal. Right? Then, after he was born to a family, so royal family. So, how many of you know the story of the Buddha? Oh, very nice. So, right. So, in brief, I will describe them. The major situation, major events of the Buddha's life. He was born in Lumbini, Nepal, and then after that, he was born to a royal family. And then after that, uh, even though he was a child, he had this so spiritual so instinct inside him, right? So we think that Buddha started practicing meditation after renouncing the house. No, when he was a child too, so he was practicing meditation, right? Even when he was a small child, right? According to the historical records, right? Then, when later on he married the prince when he was 16. At the time, it was tradition. When he was 16, he married Princess Yasodhara, right? The daughter of Devadaha kingdom. It was a regional kingdom. So Saki kingdom was a regional kingdom. Devadaha was a regional kingdom at that time. And both these kingdoms belong to Kosala kingdom, right? Then, uh, then after that, so on the later on, the Buddha saw four kinds of signs. So science means one day the Buddha was going out with his charioteer, his driver, Chan. And then when both of them were going outside, uh, so both of them saw an old person, right? Earlier, who certain Brahmins who uh, predicted about the future of Prince Siddhartha. So Buddha's first name, name was Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha. They said, if Prince Siddhartha see an old person, so then a sick person and a dead person and a monk. So if he see one of these four things, then he is going to go. He will leave the palace. If not, if he stays home, then he will be a universal monarch. Universal monarch means a great emperor who could rule so many parts of the world. So that's what the prediction was. You know, the father's ambition. Father didn't want him to be the Buddha. Instead, he wanted Prince Siddhartha to be a universal monarch. So he forbid all kinds of such people to enter the city. That's why throughout his life, he didn't see old people, right? So then, when he was allowed to go outside, because he has to be the king, so he will see the world somehow. So when he was in his 20s, he was asked to go outside. He wanted to travel outside actually, and then the first thing that he saw was an old person. Then he asked Channa, so well, so is this a phenomenon which comes to all the beings? Because that person was very old, right? Then Channa said, sir, it's something which is universal. All beings have to reach this stage. Then he asked, will my mother, will my stepmother, will my father, and then will my relatives, and even my son Rahul. So That means at that time, his son was to be born, right? So will all of them get old one day? Then Channa said, yes, for sure, they will get old. Then at that time, he understood the first universal phenomenon. And then he told to himself, oh, if all beings are bound to become like this, how suffering this sansaric journey is. Thinking like that, he asked Channa to drive back to his palace. Starting from that moment, he started thinking about this universal phenomenon. Right? Then, secondly, so after several days, he wanted to go out again. This time, when he was going out, he saw a sick person. Again, he asked Channa, "Is this universal?" Then Channa said, "Yes, this is universal." Then again, he understood the second universal phenomenon, right? And his thoughts went deeper. We also see those people, but since we don't have the level of wisdom of a Buddha, our thoughts won't go deeper like that, right? But we understand about the life uh, in general, right? When we see those people. And then, thirdly, after several days, he went out again and he saw a dead person. And then the Buddha asked, is this universal? And then Chandra replied, yes, and his thoughts went deep. And he understood that if everything is destined to decay, if everything is destined to be sick, and if every being is destined to die, then what is the meaning of life? Right? I want to go and find the meaning of life and the truth of life. Then, with those thoughts, so he spent several days, and again he went out with Chandra. This time, he saw a monk who was walking very calmly on the street. And then he understood this is where he has to head. So on a full moon day of June, out of compassion towards his son, not only towards his son, not only towards his wife or parents and family members, out of compassion towards all the beings, he renounced the palace. And then he became an ascetic. And he did a research of 6 years. This 6 years long research is called, later on Buddha called it, the noble research, right? Ariya Pariyesa. And finally, he understood the reality of the things as they actually are by his own meditation practice. And then, his enlightenment happened in Bodh Gaya, modern Bihar, India, right? And then, so after understanding Dhamma within, the Buddha started teaching day and night. He only rested for 2 hours. Within the remaining, he became enlightened when he was 35. Starting from that point until he passed away, he kept on teaching again and again and again out of compassion towards all the beings in the world. Right? Many people from various backgrounds, from various ethnic backgrounds, they came to the Buddha and listening to his Dhamma and practicing his Dhamma, practicing Dhamma that he taught, this universal teaching. So they came out of their suffering. Even though Buddha is not here by body, Buddha is here with the Dhamma. And Buddha always said, Yo Dhammam Passati, So Mam Passati. There was one Bhante, who was a fan of the Buddha. There are fans, right? His name was Vakali. So he was so fascinated by Buddha's appearance, Buddha's voice, and the fame that he had. So he wanted to be closer to the Buddha. He understood that the only way, so if he is a layperson, he won't, so if he remain as a layperson, he understood that he can't go closer to the Buddha and see him. So he became a monk, not to attain the enlightenment or not to come out of the suffering, but to see the Buddha closely, and but to associate the Buddha closely, right? Then what happened? One day, then he started following the Buddha all the way. Wherever the Buddha went, he went after the Buddha. And one day, the Buddha intentionally stopped him by from following the Buddha. Then Pantibakali, super fans. If the celebrity stops them, then they become very frustrated. I heard. So once one famous Karnataka actor passed away, I heard that 3 people died by suicide because of that actor's passing away. Unbelievable. So Bakali was such kind of person. He thought, oh Buddha, so ridiculed me and disgusted in me. He's disgusted in me, so I should go and suicide. He went to the Gijjakuta mountain. So it is a mountain which is prevailing in India with the same name today, Gijjakuta mountain. And he was to jump. At that time, the Buddha went there. And then he told Vakali, so your thinking pattern is very wrong. You try to see the Buddha with this physical body, but you can't see the Buddha with this physical body. So by seeing this physical appearance, instead, Vakkali, yo dhammam passati, so mam passati. If someone understands the Dhamma within by one's own practice, that person will see me. The others won't see me in the actual sense, right? So on this Vesak week, we have to determine to see the Buddha by our own practice, not by the appearance, right? So that is something that you have, there is a determination that you have to keep inside you throughout your life. See the Buddha, you can't, even though Buddha is alive, you can't see him, right? So physically, if you want to see the Buddha, you have to see him through Dhamma, right? Then with that determination, let's start today's meditation. So the old students, they will be asked to do the same practice for the last time today. So, next week we are going to the second part. Until then, so then the old students, they will be asked to observe the sensations. So throughout the head area, please start from your head area, top of your head, and start observing the sensations on that particular area. And whatever the sensations that you experience, please remind yourself, this sensation is also impermanent, change. Impermanent change. And then move your attention to the front area. And then after that, to the back area, then right ear, left ear, on all those places. Whatever the sensations that you experience, observe well and understand, and remind yourself that this sensation is also impermanent, changing. The new students will be asked to practice breathing meditation today too. And those students who are continuous, they will be taught to practice Vipassana meditation after another month, right? So until then, please practice hard for your own betterment. So the new students have to do, what they have to do is, please start observing the breath. When the breath is coming in, please be fully aware. When it is going out, please be fully aware. So don't go with the breath all the way in. Stop your observation at the end of your nostrils, right? Whenever the breath goes and touches that area, so wait patiently until the breath comes back. So right away when it touches that particular area, then start observing the breath again, right? If it is long, please be aware that it is long. If it is short, please be aware that it is short. If it is soft, if it is cross, let it be so. Keep on observing, right? That's what you have to do, and try to concentrate as long as possible, right? And by that way, try to develop so inner peace and inner happiness as much as you can, right? So please start. Everyone, please keep your back straight, neck straight, head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. And now let your whole body to relax. First, I will pay our respect and gratitude to the Buddha on this Vesak week. And then after that, Vesak week meditation session. And after that, we are going to start the silent meditation session. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Itimiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho viññācarana sampanno sugato lokamido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sangnittiko akaliko ehi pasiko opanaiko macatang veditabbo vinyuhiti. Supanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samiti patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani Atte purisa puggalam Ese bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuniyo pahuniyo Nakiniyo anjali karaniyo Anuttanang punyakittang lokasati. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a balanced, very equanimous mind, Everyone, please start your meditation. The Vipassana meditators, please keep on practicing your Vipassana meditation. The new students or the students who joined recently, they are kindly requested to practice breathing meditation. Whatever the meditation practice that you do, May your meditation be very, very successful. Very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation right now. Now, if your legs are hurting, we can relax them. But please keep your eyes closed. We are going to practice loving kindness meditation in brief. Here, we are going to share our loving kindness with all the beings in the world. First, let's share our loving kindness with ourselves. So please spread your loving kindness towards you, thinking like this. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards your dear parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Me, my dear mother, me, my dear father, me, my dear teachers, relatives, and friends. Be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards your parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards the neutral people, the people who are not your friends, at the same time who are not your enemies, the people who are in the middle. May all the neutral people also be well. May all the neutral people also be happy. May all the neutral people also be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards the neutral people. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards the enemies. First, please forgive the mistakes that your enemies did towards you. And at the same time, ask mentally forgiveness for the mistakes that you did to hurt the others. We all have negativities. Sometimes we uh, incapable of controlling ourselves, our emotions, where we harm the others harm us. But Best thing is to let those grudges go. So please let those grudges go and spread your loving kindness towards the enemies. May my enemies also be well. May my enemies also be happy. May my enemies also be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards the enemies. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Human beings, animals, and fish, birds, visible, invisible, strong, weak, and all kinds of beings. Ugly, beautiful, regardless of any difference. So please spread your loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards all the beings. All the beings. Bhavattu sampe mangalam rakkantu sampe nivatam samme buddhanupami samme dhammanupami samme sanghanupami sada sutti bhavantuti. Satu, satu, satu. Everyone, very calmly and peacefully, please open your eyes and let your whole body to relax from top to bottom, bottom to top. Now everyone, please join your palms together and say it 3 times. Sadhu, Sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, hope you had a very good meditation session. As I always mention, continuity is very important. So, leading the mind towards the negative side is very easy. But leading it towards the positive side is a very hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to do. You know, the rope makers, so they make ropes. How did they do it? They twist, right? They twist the rope, right? So they make it by twisting. Let's say suddenly they slip the rope out of their hand. What will happen? Once again, the twist that they made, sometimes for a long period of time, it goes back and so reach just as it was at the beginning, right? It is the same. It is just like this. So your practice towards the positivity, it is just like twisting the ropes. We practice this universal and non-sectarian meditation technique. So to do so to come to the light, right? So there are 4 individuals in the world. Buddha wanted to help all these 4 individuals. First individual is the individual who is going from darkness to darkness, right? There are people who are doing wrong things, right? Then without so they don't want to change themselves, so they don't try to practice some kind of a spiritual practice to come out of it. So they keep on going towards they keep on walking in the same path, right? Towards the darkness. So they are already in the darkness and they go towards the darkness. To stop them, Buddha told them. Then number 2, second category of human beings. So the people, so who so the people who go from darkness to light. There are certain people who are practicing wrong actions. I mean, bodily, verbally, and mentally. They realize that their practice is wrong. So what they are doing is that's wrong. This is not good for me, not good for the others, not good for both parties. And at the same time, they understood the more that I do, I'm bound to suffer. So I have to get rid of these things. So if I want to gain happiness and inner contentment and peace, I have to let these negativities to go. So what they do is understanding that they start practicing the positive things. They let go. They start practicing moral qualities. They start practicing generosity. They start practicing meditation and such kind of good action. So then such kind of individuals are called as the individuals who go from darkness to light. Right? So first category is the majority in the world. They are in the darkness, they go towards the darkness, right? So since you are in the lay world, you might have seen thousands, hundreds of such kind of people, right? So who go from darkness to darkness, right? Then second category is, so lesser than the first one, right? So they go from darkness to light. Third category is so lesser than this, the second one. So they are the ones who go from light to darkness. There are certain people who are in the who were practicing. They were practicing good things. So they were practicing. They were developing positivity within, right? But gradually, because of bad association of friends, and because of unwise thinking, right? And because of their own negativities, right? Because of letting their negativities rise. So those people, what happen is, so they go from, so even though they were in the light, from light, they gradually go towards the darkness. So the rarest people are in the fourth category. Who are they? The people who go from light to light. So they were in the practice of so positivity. So they were developing positivity in the past, and now too they keep on developing it. So as they were used, right? So these are the fourth category. To help all these four categories, the Buddha taught. The Buddha taught this noble non-sectarian meditation technique. Not one, all these techniques, right? So I can see all of you are in the light. Don't lose the light. Keep on going towards the light, right? You have to understand, it is not our intention to make, convert someone from one religion to another religion. That is not the pattern of the Buddha. Instead, we do a conversion here, but that's from sadness to happiness, and then sorrow to peacefulness, right? Right? That's the only conversion that we do. So you have to determine to make use of this for yourself, and then to come out of all the suffering to attain real peace and real happiness within, right? So please work hard. Today, so starting from today, so I will describe you. I will describe you about the three characteristics of life that embody belong to any ethnic background. Let someone be a human being or animal or any other being. All of them have these three characteristics in their lives. What are these three characteristics? I'm going to teach you the first one, and the other two, I will describe them in the next 2 weeks. First one is anicca. Anicca means impermanence. Impermanence. Now, through Vipassana meditation, that's what you are trying to experience all by yourself, by your own experience, right? So, impermanence. Impermanence, it is something which is always constantly existing with us. For an example, if someone is born to this world, then gradually from moment to moment, what is happening is we are facing the nature of impermanence, right? Let me tell you a Greek story. There was one young millionaire. So one day, the death came to this millionaire, and then then after that, told that millionaire to get ready to go with the death. Then that millionaire said, "Oh, I couldn't do so many things in my life. I have a lot of time left. So I I have to see my children grow up, and I won't see them get married off, and then like that there are several things that I have to do. So please send me and in that sense you are doing an injustice to me. So please help me by preparing me by sending 5 messengers. 5 messengers. So then I will stay prepared. When you come, I will be ready to go. Then the day said, right, I will send you 5 messengers, and after that I'll come. On that day, whatever you say, I don't care. I will take you. Then several weeks passed, several months passed, several years passed, and then it turned into a decade. He didn't get any message from the death. So he was so happy. And then after that, another 2 decades passed, and 3 decades passed, and after that, death came to take him when he's in his 50s. Then that person said, when that millionaire saw the death, he told, "Oh, you cheated. So you told me that you'll." So then the death said, "Oh, right, now the time is right. I'm here to take you." Then he said, "Oh no, you cheated me. You told and you lied to me. You told me that I will send you 5 messengers. I didn't receive any of those messages. I didn't see any messenger. So how can you take me with you?" Then the death said, "I already sent 5 messengers, but you didn't see, you were not in, you were not wise enough to see those messengers." Then he asked, "Who are those messengers?" Then that then the death said, "My first messenger was your white hair. When your hair was getting whiter, so when it was getting white, so didn't you see that?" "Yes, I saw that. That was my first messenger." You avoided his message. You didn't listen to him. Then you got my first messenger. You met my first messenger, right? Then millionaire doesn't have anything else to say. He said, "Yes." Then did you also met my second messenger? That millionaire asked, "Who is that?" "Earlier, so you didn't have to wear spectacles, but after 40, you started wearing spectacles. You had to wear spectacles. You couldn't see just like before. That was my second messenger. Did you see him, meet him?" "Oh yes, I did meet him." So see, you didn't try to get his message. That was my second message. Then how about my third messenger? Then he said, I didn't see such kind of person. Your ears were the third messenger. Earlier you could hear even the slight sounds, so small sounds. But when you reach 40, you started losing that ability of hearing. And gradually you were losing your the ability to hear. That was my third messenger, right? Then did you meet him and did you get that message? Then he said, "No, I didn't." And then after that, so the fourth messenger. My fourth messenger was the tongue. Earlier, you could taste things so well, but later on, you couldn't feel the taste of food just like before. Because it's old. That was my fourth messenger. And my fifth messenger was your own body. Earlier, you could run just like a horse when you were young, and gradually your ability started diminishing. And now you can see, you can see that you cannot control your body just as you wish. It has grown old. Did you see that message? No, sir. I didn't notice this messenger too. So now I have already sent you five messengers. Now you have to go with me. Millionaire went with the debt. So this is how it is. Everything is changing. But we have to understand impermanence. Impermanence means, so we can use this term to describe this phenomenon too. I mean, we say the baby became a young man became a middle-aged person became an old person died, right? But actually, that's not the actual impermanence that Buddha taught, right? So that is a result. Those are results of impermanence. They are Buddha used for those. To describe those stages, right? That process. The Buddha used the word viparinam, evolution of the body. But impermanence is deeper than that. It is happening even right now, right? So impermanence means continuous arising and passing away of the five aggregates. Five aggregates. So if you want, please write these five aggregates down. First one is form, right? So this physical form is the first aggregate, right? So human being means any being has, so let it be a very subtler being, a gross being like us. So all of us have these five aggregates. A being cannot exist without these five aggregates. Number one is form, right? This solid form. So forms differ according to the realm, according to the dimension that they were born, right? For an example, so there are divine beings. We can't see them, right? Why? Their body is shuttle. Hungry ghosts, we can't see them. Their body is shuttle, right? So um, in human beings, in animals, the bodies of those beings, they are gross. That's why we can see them. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to see the other beings. If you develop your concentration level to the fourth stage of fourth jhana, fourth jhanic level, fourth concentration level, your mind become sharp enough to see those beings too. But somehow, so as gross beings, we only can see only a certain portion of beings, right? Not everyone. Then somehow all those bodies have the same characteristic, right? They are formed with atoms, right? In Buddha's teaching, Buddha says they are formed with attakalapas. Attakala means the combination of 8 elements, right? Attakala. So in science we say, so the atom, right? So somehow this is not the time to describe what is Attakala. So the 8 portions. I will, whenever I get the opportunity, I will describe it. So all somehow, so this body, which is formed with atoms, consisted of atoms, they are rising and passing away very fast. But only the body is not the being. There are another four faculties, 4 aggregates that form the being. They are the vast portion of the being, but we only focus on the body. Therefore, we only see the body. But these 4 aggregates are also important to when it comes to a being, right? Second one is the sensations, the faculty, the aggregate of sensations. That's number 2, right? Sensations you can't see, but you can only feel, right? When you touch your body like this, you feel the sensation, right? Right? So that is the second faculty. Then the third aggregate is whenever you feel a sensation, so the third aggregate that we have, it senses it. They are called, that faculty is called as the faculty of signals or perceptions, right? This faculty only can understand that you felt something, but it cannot judge what kind of a thing this is. It cannot recognize. Its job is just to recognize. So whenever a touch happens, a sensation arises. With the sensation arises a signal, a perception. And with the perception, then arises the next aggregate. What is that aggregate? That is a totally different body. What is that? So, fourth one is mental formations. Mental formation. With mental formations, we judge and we recognize things and we develop thoughts. Right? Let's say I see Namal on the door. Right? Then my first faculty, the eye, so recognizes this is now. So I so I saw something, right? Then after that, so say whenever the picture, the appearance comes and touches with my eye, then the signal arises. I saw something, and then no, a sensation arises. Then sensation turns to a signal. Signal goes into my mental formations, and I realize I saw Nama, I saw Cole, right? I see Brian, right? Then after that, then inside me, I have the consciousness. Then it gives birth to a consciousness. It is a totally different aggregate. So this aggregate, so it is formed. It is formed according to the way how mental formations behave. Right? For an example, let's say there is a glass. There is a glass of water. You have various kinds of dyes. You have blue dye. You have yellow dye. You have red dye. You have black dye. So like that. When you put that dye inside that water and mix that, that glass of water turns into the color of that dye. In the same manner, if we develop mental formations of anger, the the consciousness, it also takes the shape of shape of this anger. So, so it's a so this faculty is totally different. So consciousness, and we have to understand all these five things. They are arising and passing away rapidly, but we think there is a constant Bhante Chandi throughout my life. But the truth is, I am changing very, very fast. And there is no eternal I inside. And since we don't understand that, we think I am permanent. The things that I see in the world, they are also permanent. And then you take all your experiences personal, my thing. And they want to be here. So I just need the feeling of comfort and happiness. I don't need all the other feelings, right? Then this gives birth to the craving, the driving force of you, which takes you from life to life to life to life, right? So ignorance and craving takes you from one life to the other one, and then from that one to the other one. Because you don't understand about this process, and you have not realized it with your own experience. And then even when you die, you don't die being satisfied with your eyes. You want to see more. You have that craving to see more. You won't have that craving to hear more. You have that craving to smell more. You have that craving to taste more. You have that craving to feel more. So the fire is there, the craving, and it generates the attraction to the next one, and so many factors joining together. So then you get another life. It is just like the trees. Trees have the same nature, right? So the trees, so when a tree dies, so it create before it dies, it creates seeds. Those seeds create more trees. Those seeds create more trees. Just this is how those things go. So somehow, since we don't understand this nature of impermanence, what happens is, so we start to develop craving towards everything, right? Towards everything. Then, because but the nature flows as it wants, right? The nature, it flows with the nature of impermanence, right? Right? It flows with the nature of impermanence, and but you want it to be permanent, and your mentality, it has shape in that manner. Then what happens is your thoughts, so your perspective, so it is contrasting with the nature, and throughout your life, so because of that, you suffer. You suffer constantly. Why? Because of that misunderstanding, because of that craving, you give birth to so many negativities. Mainly, so craving, secondly, aversion, thirdly, so because of aversion, there are so many negativities that arise as branches: fear, hatred, jealousy, ill will, so discrimination, and then like that, there are so many negativities that you give birth to. Because of them, throughout your life, you suffer. But through Vipassana meditation, you start to realize actually how you constantly change. And when you cannot tell whether a cake is actually tasty until we eat it. We can talk about the cake, but whenever we eat the cake, we realize, all right, the cake is actually tasty. But the other said, that's true. This is just like the same. right? So scientists might hear theories, but until that scientist does the research and see the result by one's own eyes, right? So until then, that's only a theory. That's only a suggestion, right? So whenever the experiment ends, that person understands, yes, this is a truth. This is fact. Just like that. So this impermanence, this continuous impermanence, when you start seeing so it with your own experience, when you start realizing this with your own experience, so your misunderstandings go away completely. And then your craving, it also goes away. So at the same time, your aversion, it also goes away. Then you become united with the nature. Such kind of person, for such kind of person, whatever it happens outside, it doesn't matter, right? Sometimes people can do good for that person is grateful, but that person doesn't develop attachment. So at the same, for the majority of times, the other people will do things that can bring discomfort, but that person won't change, won't get sad or angry or anything. That person will always face those circumstances with peace of mind and inner happiness too, right? This is the change which will happen when you see the nature of impermanence within. Again, with another story, in old Indian folk tale, I will finish. So old student might remember this story, right? So one wise village headman had two sons. Then, when this village headman was dying, so he separated all uh, his possessions equally among his two sons. When he passed away, his elder son was a greedy person. He checked whether there is anything inside the generational house. What do you call it? So the generational house, which count the main the house that they owned uh, according to their generation, right? Inside that house, he was trying to find something so that his father might have forgotten to give them. When he was searching everywhere, he found under the bed of his father, he found a small box. And inside this box, there were two rings. One was a diamond ring, one was a silver ring. And then he developed a great greed towards these two rings. But unfortunately, his brother also came to the same place. Then he has to share. But as I mentioned, he developed a strong greed towards the diamond ring. So he told his brother, I think this diamond ring, it's generational. And I am the eldest brother, I'm the eldest son of this house. So I will keep this diamond ring. You can keep this silver ring. Then younger brother is a calm person. He said, okay, that's fine. Why should we fight? You keep the diamond ring. I will keep the silver ring. Both of them were farmers. So this eldest son, he was wearing this diamond ring, and every day he was watching at that diamond ring, and he was developing his craving further and further and further, thinking, oh, diamond ring. So this is my diamond ring. How beautiful is this ring? This belongs to me. This is my ring. So he was always uh, so on fire with greed. Whenever I told you they were farmers, there were good times that they got good harvests. At such times, he was so jubilant. He partied and also shouted with happiness. But whenever there were bad times, he went into depression. So he was so distressed and depressed. He was so sad. And he spent that time with a lot of mental distress. This kept on going for several years. And after some time, so this person, the eldest brother, got got a stroke, and then one part of his body so couldn't work well. So then he was bedridden, right? But still, with so with he so slowly raised his hand and looked at the ring, diamond ring, and kept on saying with the very sicky voice, "Oh, diamond ring, this is my diamond ring." He passed away very soon. Second brother went home. So he thought, he had noticed that his father was a merry person and a calm person, and he always wore the silver ring instead of the diamond ring. So he thought, why is that? Why father kept the silver ring with the diamond ring? Because silver is so lesser in value than the diamond. Then when he was checking the ring, he saw a small Hindi sentence in that inside, which is carved in the ring. That sentence is, "ये तो बदल जाता है." This will also change. This will also change. I told you he was a farmer. He had good harvest. At that time, he was so happy. And when he was getting jubilant, he saw that ring, the silver ring. And he remembered himself, oh, this will also change. There'll be the time, then there'll be the time, there'll be the winter time where I cannot work well and I won't have enough harvest. So I should be happy, but I have to save for the bad time. So he enjoyed, he partied, but saved a considerable amount for the winter time. And then winter time came. He didn't get enough crops. His works didn't go very successful. When he was feeling sad, he looked at his finger and remembered, "Ye to badal jata hai." This will also change. Good time will come. Until then, somehow I will manage. Then summertime came, he got profit. Winter time came, he got losses. But still, he kept on managing. Thus, he lived a very peaceful life. You also have to wear a ring, but it should not be diamond or silver. That ring should be inside your heart and mind. Whenever things go very good or very bad or mild, all the time you have to think, this will also change. ये तो बदल जाता है. Okay. And this is how you have developed the understanding. And so today, since we don't have a lot of time, I couldn't teach the whole process, so teachings about impermanence, but I will so teach you gradually. So now everyone please think. On this Vesak week too, on the week we are in which week where the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing away happened, all of us gathered here and practice this noble, great meditation technique, which is non-sectarian, and accumulated a lot of positive energy. Please think, by the power of all this positive energy, may all our troubles be away. May all the good things happen in our lives. And practicing this noble, non-sectarian, pure Dhamma path and Dhamma practice. May all of us attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. With those thoughts, please join your palms together and concentrate. Abhivadana Selese Nichang Vata Pachainu Chattaro Dhamma Vadanti Ayuvang Sukhang Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Me Vache Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminati Samijjito. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May you all be very, very peaceful. Very, very peaceful. Sukhi hoto. Okay, good night to everyone. See you again in the next week. Please take care of yourself. When are you going to go to India? Sometime July. Until then, when you have time, please. Yes. Right, Mr. Huad, good night. Mr. Huad, good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night, Ms. Rita. Good night, Bipul.
Good night, Bante. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bante.
Yeah, I'm going to come tomorrow.